Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. Hope you all are enjoying a wonderful Tuesday evening. I know I am here in Western Pennsylvania. The sun is shining, the rain has gone away, and some good things happening in the city of Pittsburgh right now, at least a little bit. We're not going to get too high with the highs here, but we certainly are getting pretty lows with the lows as well. But for today, let's enjoy a little bit. Let's try to be as positive as we possibly can be. Last night, the Pittsburgh Pirates showing that there are many ebbs and flows to the game of baseball after a series where they were DOA to the Chicago White Sox, one of the worst teams in the MLB. Last night, game one of their series against one of the best teams in the major leagues, the Detroit Tigers. They win that game 3-0 on a Paul Skenes day. Skenes finally getting a W. We will also talk a little bit of Pittsburgh Steelers news today. The Steelers officially announcing on all of their social media platforms that TJ Watt has put pen to paper on his extension. More on what his extension means and how it actually came to be. It was a little bit sooner than any of us expected for Watt to sign his extension. We all thought that this was going to be something that would carry well into training camp, maybe even up until the beginning of the regular season, but he gets it done last week. How that came to be, we will discuss as well. And then we will hit on any other news that we happen to come across along the way. The Pittsburgh Penguins, a little bit of news around them, and much more we will get into later on in the program. First thing is first here on this Tuesday evening. If you are new here to the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this video and comment in the comment section any thoughts, opinions, or questions that you may have here. If you are looking at the comment section right now, get those thoughts, opinions, questions in there. I can pop those up on the screen. We can interact that way. Like I said, we are going to start off today's live stream with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skenes. It was a Skenes day yesterday. The Bucks, they finally got him a win. His first win since May 28th. I want to say his first win in PNC Park since April. Last night, it was, I believe, a third inning where the Pirates, they had their lone offensive spurt of the ball game. Spencer Horwitz, he had a 2-out single. That scored Key Brian Hayes, made it 1-0. Then Brian Reynolds, hopefully coming out of the slump that he has been in, he had a 2 RBI single into right field as well. Skenes, dominant, showed no signs of, rust or, layover over the All-Star break. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits for him, walked 1, struck out 6, so not too godly of a strikeout total, what we've been accustomed to seeing from him. Also, his pitch count still down there. He only threw 86 pitches last night. 55 of those were for strikes. And I think even Skenes himself has been on the record now saying that he understands the ball club, whether it's Donnie Kelly, whether it's Ben Cherington, limiting his pitch count, saving his arm. This still, after all, being his first major league season. I think when the season is all said and done, you will see his pitch total, his innings pitched, all of that be a little bit higher than, what you saw from him last year. We got to remember this, in a season where it's completely unfortunate and downright BS that it's already lost at this point. Why, go out there and say, hey, go out there, throw 100 pitches night in, night out, because that's when you run into both fatigue issues with him, maybe heading into next year when the slate is clean, and also arm injuries. Now, Skenes, he is, I think, one of the most well-built athletes in the MLB, especially for pitchers, where he could probably his body hold up and, sustain going out there and pitching a bunch and not getting injured. But let's still be patient with him here. We got him for next year and hopefully well beyond that. Who knows? So let's save his arm and hopefully then he can take another step and pitch a whole hell of a lot next year when the slate is clean. That lone offensive spurt for the Pirates last night, those 3 runs in the third inning, that was enough again, 3 runs for this offense, you're going to consider that a win at this point just for how poorly they are put together. But with Skenes on the mound, turns out that's all they needed. Thank goodness. Horowitz actually ended up with 3 hits last night. Brian Reynolds, like I said, that clutch 2-run single, that really hopefully will get the monkey off of his bat. Skenes, outstanding. Dennis Santana and David Bednar, along with, I believe, Braxton Ashcraft. Those 3 bullpen arms steady as can be. And that was all that had to be said last night. Skenes, like I said, really looked dominant. Looked like he had not lost a step. And this is going against a Tigers team, like I said, best in the majors, going against 2 guys that he struck out in the All-Star game, Riley Green and Gleyber Torres. There's another first overall pick in that lineup, Spencer Torkelson, and a couple other major league bats. So not an easy lineup for him to breeze through like he did. That makes it all the more impressive. Skenes, by the way, now off to literally the best start that a starting pitcher has had in Major League history. A stat here from Codify that I saw earlier today. Skenes now the lone pitcher in Major League Baseball history to have a sub 2.20 ERA and more than 165 strikeouts in his first 44 games. To show you how dominant he is, a sub 2.22 ERA and more than 165 strikeouts. Skenes, a 194 ERA, 307 strikeouts in those first 44 games that he's played. So it just reminds you more and more. We watched the game last night, and you love seeing that. You are just still awestruck that this guy is not only doing it, but doing it in your city. But then it is the takeaway that we have all the time watching the Pirates is how possibly have they bungled this and fumbled this situation, having this guy for really a year and a half now. How it amazes me just how bad this team is, yet how good he is. He is probably one of the rarest examples in sports where, you can't say with a team this bad that one guy is doing everything right. He is doing everything right, and the team around him is just so abysmally bad that they are, 21 games under 500, 20 games under 500, something like that. Just absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully he can get some support here soon. Also, by the way, another guy who isn't having, he's had his fair share of ups and downs this season, but still amazing that this guy is the best batter on the Pirates team day in, day out. Last night, Andrew McCutchen passing Willie Stargell, another Pittsburgh Pirate all-time great for all-time hits in MLB history. Kutch now at 2,233, Stargell at 2,232. Next up on the list for Kutch to catch, maybe he gets it here tonight, Mike Schmidt, a longtime Philadelphia Philly. He is at 2234. So Kutch moving up and up on the all-time hit list, currently sitting at 180, 179, well within his reach. And he could go a whole hell of a lot more up that list before the season ends. So good stuff there from Skenes and Andrew McCutchen. Pirates here in about 40 minutes. They are about to play in Game 2 of this 3-game set against the Tigers. Starting lineup for tonight's ball game, Spencer Horwitz again leading off. Nick Gonzalez batting second tonight, an off night for Andrew McCutchen. Brian Reynolds at DH. Tommy Pham left. O'Neal Cruz in center field. Ke'Bryan Hayes at third, batting sixth. Alexander Canario, a rare start for him. He bats seventh and is in right field. Henry Davis, back-to-back starts for him. Catches in the 8 hole, and then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa rounds out the lineup at short. Mitch Keller tonight on the bump, hoping to continue his strong season despite the win column being the way it is for him. And it is going to be a thought on all of our minds, or at least it should be tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with all that is going on. The trade deadline coming up here in a little over a week from now. Could this be the final start, not just for Mitch Keller in PNC Park, but for Mitch Keller as a Pirate, period? With the trade deadline getting closer and closer, teams, they are going to get more aggressive. So we'll have to watch Mitch Keller tonight, with at least a little bit of gratitude for, all he has done here with the Pirates. I'm not going to write him off the team yet, but there is a lot of smoke around him in the trade world right now. But we will watch Mitch Keller tonight with, lots of gratitude, because he was one of those guys, one of those rare players for this Pirates team that has been with the team throughout this rebuild, as crappy and as long as it's been. And honestly, it's still going on, this rebuild, which is ridiculous. But he has been a guy who has been with this team forever, really, since he came into the league. And he's been through them with the smallest highs and the deepest lows. So we will watch tonight Keller with gratitude. Same thing goes for Ke'Bryan Hayes, even David Bednar and Dennis Santana. Bednar and Santana pitched last night. Bednar got the save. I believe I saw someone say he put the final pitch in his back pocket for the save. So you wonder, maybe he sees the writing on the wall. Probably wondering if he'll get into the lineup or back into a ball game in case he gets traded off, or before he may get traded off. We'll see. But we'll see how the Pirates do tonight. Would not be surprised whatsoever. They got the win for Skenes. Would not be surprised if they lay 2 goose eggs in the last 2 games of this series. But we will see. Going to move right along here with the news here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move into some Steelers talk, and the Pirates slowly getting phased out of being the thing we lead off with every single day. The Steelers, they are coming back in tomorrow. It all begins. The journey of the 2025 season begins tomorrow. Latrobe, Pennsylvania, St. Vincent College. Everyone will report. I do not expect any sort of holdouts. TJ Watt, he just got his deal done. And that is what we're supposed to talk about right now. This is going to be the final Steeler topic before we talk about them arriving at St. Vincent tomorrow. Watt today officially putting pen to paper on his new 3-year contract. Let me pop up at least one of the many posts that the Steelers posted here today. Here is the hype up video they put. Watt signing his extension today. A picture of him with his wife. I believe her name is Danny. $123 million, $108 million guaranteed smiles on each of their faces. Another graphic that the Steelers put out there. His career statistics: 108 sacks, 126 tackles for loss, 33 forced fumbles, 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year in 2021. So Watt, his extension officially being recognized by the Steelers today. Another interesting thing about this, and should come to no shock here, the Steelers, again, they themselves, weird thing that they do, they don't want to put out the word out there that they, reset the market for edge rushers. They just labeled it on their post that TJ did sign that it is a new 4-year contract. So they are not recognizing it themselves as a 3-year extension onto his current contract. They are just saying, hey, we ripped up the last year of his current deal, and he is now on a 4-year contract, completely and totally brand new, even though we all know that really he did get more than Myles Garrett. One thing we did not know up until today is that Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, in a recent article of his, put out there that Mike Tomlin was one of the driving forces of TJ's extension of getting done earlier than what we all expected. Dulac, in his piece, said here, quote, "Mike Tomlin did not want any more distractions heading into training camp. Hang on. All right, I lost the quote here for a second. Excuse me. Mike Tomlin did not want any more distractions heading into training camp. That's the last one. It's taken care of. Mike Tomlin's feeling all along was get that deal done, pay him, just get the deal done. He doesn't control the purse strings, but he can certainly push them in a certain direction. Yeah, I think that was definitely part of it. So, Mike Tomlin, kudos to him, because that would have been a massive talking point, a massive distraction heading into Latrobe this year. This really being the most highly anticipated training camp for the Steelers in quite some time. Lots of different storylines going into it, but one of the biggest would have been TJ Watt's, contract negotiations, and it would have been a major distraction. So criticize him all you want for, how he is as legitimately a coach and how his teams always falter and fumble and stumble when they are supposed to unleash hell in December, and then they get their doors blown off in the first round of playoffs every single year. But we'll give him credit. There's still a little bit of drama that I'm sure people will want to drum up with Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey, all that. But I got to say, looking at the team, for the first time in a while, you can look up and down the Steelers' depth chart, and whatever the final version of the 53-man roster will be, I don't think you are going to be able to list one player where you look and say, that guy, he is due to blow up at some point this season. His heart isn't going to be in every single game. So kudos to Mike Tomlin, for him and Omar Khan for assembling this team and for getting this deal done to where now everyone can get together starting tomorrow and begin that collective push towards a 7th Lombardi. Like I said, that begins tomorrow. They will report 26 of the NFL teams today. They actually reported to their training camps. We will get into a couple stories related to other teams around the NFL that could, end up being of useful information to the Steelers. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. But yep, 26 teams of the 32 NFL teams reported to training camp today. A couple more earlier this week. The Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons will report tomorrow, and that will be it for all the NFL teams. So excited to get things underway here starting tomorrow. Should be a fun series of live streams coming up. Before I go any further and we begin the more Pittsburgh sports news segment of the program, one more time, I would like to invite all of you to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this live stream, comment in the live chat any thoughts, questions, opinions that you may have, and we can interact that way. But first and foremost, subscribe and turn on notifications. Taking a quick stroll here through Twitter, seeing a lot of things that I'm about to cover here in the next couple of minutes. Seeing a video here, this might be of interest to Steelers fans, maybe, come March into August next year. Drew Aller for Penn State, seeing a video of him unloading some deep balls there as the college football season gets closer as well. I know I will be watching a ton of college football this upcoming year, especially the teams with the quarterbacks coming out of next year's draft. Okay, not seeing anything new here, so we are going to start with some extra Pittsburgh sports news. We're actually going to start off the extra news segment here with the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're kind of grasping for strings right now with them, not too much news around the Pens whatsoever in, kind of for good reason, seeing how they're going to be a bad team. You might not want to have too much publicity around them anyways. Mario Lemieux on his, I guess you would call it, official X account yesterday. It is the Mario Lemieux Foundation page, but it does say Mario Lemieux on it. Yesterday, he posted on X a, I guess, kind of cryptic tweet, but in the end, we really should have expected what it actually meant. Yesterday, saying, "On your mark, get set. Something big is coming tomorrow. Join our mailing list to receive the message." Turns out that something that was coming, that something big, the return of the Penguins 6.6K marathon that the Mario Lemieux Foundation has, presented by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Registration opened for that marathon, that run or walk marathon today. So that is what the big surprise was that Lemieux had in store. However, looking at his posts here on his page, they don't get too much engagement, but that one that he posted yesterday, "Something big is coming," that got a ton of engagement, which led us all to speculate. Could he have possibly, been announcing, a buyback of the team? Maybe that negotiations are still ongoing, something like that. All that stuff could still, either be going on or could happen down the line there. But, he's posting that. It's good to see that he is still keeping in the public's eye here, especially with all of us knowing that he and Ron Burkle and David Morehouse, that collective group, they still want to get back in on the Pens. So it's great to see that they are still out there. Also, the Penguins, their page themselves, they posted that as well. They didn't just do, a typical reshare of the post. They made their actual post, to join this. So them posting about Lemieux as well seems to be a good sign to me. I'm going to take it as a small sign, maybe a false sign, but I'm going to take it as a positive sign nonetheless that Lemieux could be getting closer, with the Penguins possibly buying them back here in the not too distant future. Staying with the Penguins here, the second of the two stories that I have here on them today, Chris Johnston, NHL insider for The Athletic, I believe. He, Frank Saravalli, a bunch of these other insiders, national insiders, that is, they have been speculating now for a while, putting out there what they're hearing from agents and teams and such about possible moves that the Penguins could make with their three big trade chips, Erik Karlsson, Rickard Rakell, Brian Rust. Well, Chris Johnston yesterday put out there a little piece on Erik Karlsson, a little bit of information. Saravalli in the past has said that the price tag on Karlsson is still high. Johnston putting out there yesterday that the Penguins, they are not willing to retain half of Erik Karlsson's $10 million salary for any team that is, bidding for his services. So I take that and I have to think, $5 million, which in the NHL, you can only retain half of a player's contract. $5 million, it is a lot to retain. And I actually kind of agree, not being able to take back that much money, pay Karlsson to play elsewhere for 2 more years on his contract, at least. However, you got to wonder how that is affecting teams' willingness to, send the Pens a premium pick right now, because the more money you retain, the more likely you are to get a bigger return. However, this seems to be like Kyle Dubas is going to be at a crossroads here, especially with Karlsson. Do you want to retain a lot of money and get maximum value, get maximum return, or do you want to maybe, eat a little less money, but also get a much smaller return? That's where a kind of a crossroads he is right now. Karlsson, I think for him right now, you just be happy to get as much of that contract off the books as possible. Also, with what he has done, or what I will more accurately say, what he hasn't done here since he came over from San Jose. If you can get, I don't know, second, third round pick for him, maybe a middle tier prospect thrown in there, I'd do that deal just to get his money off the books. As for Rust and Raquel, I don't think you need to save that much money on them because they're on bargain contracts as is, but I'm focusing on those guys first and foremost, getting as high of an offer as I possibly can. However, Carlson here, you don't want to retain half the salary. I'm going to say good on that. Also, Dubas, if we get, say a month from now or so and a Carlson deal still isn't done, then bring your asking price much lower just to get him out here at this point. He's also right shot defenseman, blocking, the potential debut of Harrison Brunick. He's blocking younger guys who haven't gotten a fair shake in the NHL yet, like Owen Pickering and Jack St. Ivany. So, Carlson, thank you for all you did here with the Penguins. You made some mind-numbing mistakes, turnovers and such, but also were a part of some of the most exhilarating goals that I've seen the Penguins make in the past couple of years. So thank you, but good luck in your next destination. Moving back here into the world of football real quick, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of these stories not directly related to the Steelers, but I will talk about them because they are noteworthy. Two notable holdouts today in the NFL. First, beginning here with division rival of the Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals. Trey Hendrickson, their best defensive player, defensive end, led the NFL in sacks last year. He is in search of a new contract, and he is holding out. Nowhere to be seen with the Bengals to begin their training camp. Actually, he posted to his Instagram that he is down in Florida, not even close to Cincinnati right now. So looks like that holdout is going to be for quite some time. Lots to unpack in that situation. Lots to unpack with the Bengals in general. Sticking with Hendrickson here right now, apparently seeking that long-term contract extension. The biggest holdup has been the guaranteed money. And Adam Schefter pointing out here that the Steelers, they have a little bit to play with why Hendrickson is not there right now. Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and TJ Watt, they all got guaranteed money through, I think, all or at least most of the years in their new contracts. Meanwhile, the Bengals, I think they only offered guaranteed money in the first year of the extension for Hendrickson, and he wants more guarantees beyond this next season. So a massive holdout there, arguably the biggest one in the NFL. Bengals got a lot to figure out there, not just for Hendrickson, but for also Shamar Stewart as well, their first-round pick defensive end. So we'll at least laugh at the Bengals now for the time being for that whole fiasco. Two fiascos, really, for them to deal with. The other holdout, this one might relate to the Steelers just as much as Trey Hendrickson. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin holding out of the Washington Commanders training camp. He does not report. The Commanders, they're just doing their conditioning tests today. Kind of like I think how the Steelers will do their conditioning tests when players show up tomorrow. Let's just hope that they all don't push blocking sleds, because that's how Russell Wilson strained his calf last year. Anyways, he is the only one on the Commanders not to show up. And I said on here in the past that, if Terry McLaurin, he'd be a hell of an addition to the Steelers, but it might come at the cost of sending out a high draft pick or possibly, TJ Watt. That was back before Watt signed his extension. However, now things getting really testy with Terry McLaurin. I still deep down think that a deal with McLaurin is going to get done before the season begins. However, if his trade value comes down just a little bit because he is holding out and the Commanders, maybe they say, hey, there's absolutely no way that we are going to get a deal done for what he's asking, could Omar Khan slide in there, hit a walk-off grand slam here in this already fantastic offseason that he's constructed, I'd be quite all right with that. So those two situations, the Hendrickson one, even the Shamar Stewart one with the Bengals, and this Terry McLaurin situation, we will keep an eye on it as the weeks go along here. Continuing here with some extra Steelers talk. Cam Hayward, one of many Steelers with podcasts right now, getting their voices out there. Cam has a podcast. Christian Kuntz has a podcast. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers, he will be on the Pat McAfee show throughout the season. By the way, the McAfee show, they will be at Steelers training camp. I don't think this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Anyways, Hayward on his podcast reacting to the new yellow jerseys, the new 1933 throwback uniforms that the Steelers debuted yesterday. Hayward on his podcast saying, yellow helmet, check, jersey, check. I like the jersey, but the pants, those pants, man, they look like they look like throw up. And I love that we're trying something new, but this was the problem we had with the Bumblebees. I think the Bumblebees would have looked fire if you had black pants. I think this jersey would have looked fire if you had black pants, or even, I hate to go full yellow, but you could have done some remix in there as well. Sounds like Cam has the same exact reaction as the rest of us fans to these uniforms. I'm sure a bunch of Steelers players there like, what the hell are these tan pants? But yeah, I agree with Cam wholeheartedly. Jersey, not the best jersey that they've come out with, but I'm okay with it. I got a few critiques on it, but it is, still a odd enough looking jersey that you think it's cool. However, the pants just ugh. Also the yellow helmet bonus. Sticking here with a couple more Steelers topics here today. The New York Jets up in MetLife Stadium, they got a new locker room, and that, brought up the topic once again of how bad the Steelers locker room is, or I won't say bad, how outdated the Steelers locker room is, not just at their training facility, but at Acrisure Stadium. One Steeler chimed in, an actual defender of how the Steelers locker room, which did get an F last year, the players, the NFLPA, they come out with grades for certain aspects and sectors of their organization. One defender, a former Steeler, defending their, what would many call outdated locker room, Ryan Switzer, former wide receiver, really one of the more underrated wide receivers for the Steelers as well. He was just one of those niche, odd guys that Ben Roethlisberger would throw to all the time. But anyways, he came to the defense of the Steelers locker room, saying that locker room on the South Side facility, it's small, but call me crazy, it's one of the coolest parts about being a Steeler. The nostalgic wooden lockers, non-modernized locker room. You felt the history every day you went to work. I just thought that was cool, Ryan Switzer. For getting an F, a low grade year after year, the locker room and all that. Kind of cool to see that, hey, it's not all terrible. Not everyone thinks it's terrible. I kind of, agree with Switzer a little bit. The Steelers, for being a team that when you think the Steelers, you think grit, you think hard-nosed football where, we're always one of the toughest teams in the league. We don't need these flashy, locker rooms where the stalls have massage recliners and stuff like that. So I kind of dig it. Could they use a little bit of updating all around? Yes, but still cool that Switzer said that. Two other Steelers notes today, ladies and gentlemen, two small ones. Congratulations are in order to these two members of the Steelers organization. Max Starks, former left tackle for the Black and Gold, he today was named the color commentator for the Steelers audio network to broadcast games. He will now be up in the booth with, I believe, crap, who is it? King, Rob King. He does the play-by-play now. I was trying to think there. Bill Hillgrove did it for a while. He is now just strictly still doing, to his credit, God bless him, Pitt football games. But Rob King took over last year for Bill Hillgrove. Now Max starts taking over in the booth as a color commentator for Steelers Audio Network, replacing the late great Craig Wolfley, who unfortunately passed away, I believe, earlier this year. So rest in peace, Wolf. Thank you for all you did, and good luck to Max Starts. I think he is going to absolutely do fantastic with this. He's used to do Steelers pregame and all that down on the field, but I think he is going to be outstanding up there in the booth. Second congratulations, like I said, congratulations, Steelers backup guard Max Scharping. He and his wife, looking at the picture here, they welcomed a new baby daughter into the world. So congratulations to Max Scharping. Two Maxes, Max Starks and Max Scharping. Back into some baseball talk here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. One massive story today, ladies and gentlemen, for the black and gold. First round pick in this year's draft, Seth Hernandez, this afternoon putting pen to paper on his rookie contract. Going to pop up my shared screen right here. This from 93.7 The Fan. Hernandez right here talking with Paul Skenes, signing his rookie contract, a $7.25 million deal. Comes in at a little under what the slot value is for the number 6 overall. But, also he did get a record bonus for a high school pitcher. So congratulations to Seth Hernandez inking his first big league contract. He is committed to pitch at Vanderbilt in college. I think he will go there and, not be going to the Pirates minor league system. I'd be okay with him getting, a year of flavor with Vanderbilt. Let's just hope that they don't blow his arm off or use him too extremely. Picture of him in the press conference room at PNC Park today, getting his picture with Ben Cherington. Can't believe he's still here, but I do like this pick that he made. As you see in the video right there, him talking with Paul Skenes, said that he actually was at the ball game last night, got to see Skenes pitch, and he was asked down on the field today, if he has allowed himself to, think about possibly being in the same rotation, pitching with Paul Skenes one day. Hernandez's answer: he shoved yesterday, and he's probably going to shove for the rest of his life. If I could kind of follow his footsteps, that'd be great. Great answer there from Seth Hernandez. He also met Andrew McCutchen in the team locker room today. So seemed to be getting a grand circle tour of PNC Park today. Love that pick. Hopefully he gets to the big leagues sooner rather than later. And that he, for the 11th time, when he does get to the big leagues someday, whoever's running the Pirates, hopefully it's not Ben Cherington, they will see Hernandez as another piece of this great rotation that the Pirates already have and are continuing to build, and not Skenes' replacement. That's all I'm asking. Please let what was just said there come to fruition, that Hernandez is not his replacement, because I would be so happy one day to see Skenes followed by Hernandez, probably followed by Bubba Chandler. Dream trio there, assuming that all goes well and they all hit their potential. Full potential, that is. Last thing here on the Pirates today, odd enough, we had a rare Derek Shelton sighting. Last we heard of Shelton, he was doing some work, I think running the scouting combine for the MLB draft. He was back on MLB Network today in a show called The Leadoff Spot with Steve Phillips and Derek Shelton. So my guess, he now has a full-time media gig with MLB Network. Good luck to MLB Network. I say this meaning no disrespect to Derek Shelton, the person, because from all that I've read and heard from Pittsburgh media sources, he is, a genuine nice guy. I think you can say that about most people we have grown to dislike in the Pittsburgh sports world, that they are genuine nice people. Just unfortunately, they are so terrible at their job, and that's what confuses the hell out of me here. Hope things go well, ratings go well for Derek Shelton, but bit of an odd choice by MLB Network to have him be on a daily show. He can tell you about how he completely, along with Ben Cherington, disintegrated the hitting talent in this Pirates organization. He can tell you a lot about being the second or third losingest manager in MLB history, and he can tell you a lot about how to give all players cool nicknames. So good luck, Derek Shelton, with all that. I'm going to leave it there. Going to take one last stroll here through Twitter before we log off for the evening. Bob Pompiani, KDKA news legend. He's already out at St. Vincent College. It all begins tomorrow at this beautiful campus, posting a picture of the practice fields there in Latrobe. Should be a fun time for really not just next week, but for the foreseeable future. Now that we are done focusing strictly on baseball, back into football, and it'll benefit everyone. Give me more talking, more stuff to talk about. We can get more viewerships in here, all that good stuff. Another cool thing as well, Paul Skenes, before today's game, meeting with a Make-A-Wish recipient, Riley Wheaton. Always cool to see stuff like that. We do have a bit of shade being thrown here. Scrolling through here, Joseph Hoyt, beat writer, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens was used often as a deep ball player in Pittsburgh. He was asked about his full route tree and how that can be utilized in Dallas. Pickens saying, quote, "I'm definitely excited to run better plays." There's that Pickens we know. Gonna talk the talk, but can he walk the walk? He definitely talks. Didn't see much walking here in Pittsburgh, I'll tell you that, George. You occasionally made the super cool catch, but let's see you make it through. We'll start out with baby steps. Let's see you make it through the first 4 weeks of an NFL season before you have a major blow up. Before I was about to say, let's see you go a full year, but let's start baby here. Baby steps. 4 games. I give it before he explodes. Looking here, seeing if there's anything else. Not seeing too much here, so going to keep it short tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On here for about 50 minutes now. We're going to keep things short. I'm sure streams, they are going to get longer with more stuff to talk about starting tomorrow with Steelers training camp. I do want to end today's show with this. I would be remiss if I didn't give my condolences. Today, world lost an icon. Ozzy Osbourne, I believe the age of 76, passing away today. News broke everywhere about a couple of hours ago. So I do want to say on here, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Was a true icon in every definition of the word. Gave all of us, no matter how old or how young you are, gave us all memories that we will carry on forever. So just wanted to put that out there. Thank you, Ozzy, for all you did. Rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness. And that is going to do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. For the final time, thank you all for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Also turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Should be a fun rest of the week with the Steelers reporting to training camp. starting tomorrow. And we will cover all of that, no matter in what way, shape, or form we do it on this channel. But hope you all join me back here tomorrow and for the foreseeable future, no matter what goes on. And yeah, let's go see how the Pirates do tonight. See if they can get one more win before our attention mainly shifts to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then they will be a secondary topic. So thank you all. Like, share, and comment on this live stream. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. And I will see you guys back here with some more Pittsburgh sports news. Training camp, the 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers season starting tomorrow. We'll cover it all from start to finish here on the Steel City Sports Report. See you back here tomorrow. Peace.